YouTube world? My name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic. And welcome back to another YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have you all back together again. Now, I know it is a weekday, and I just posted like 2 videos yesterday, but this morning, the nominations for the 2024 Oscars were just announced, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about. What movies was I surprised with, what snubs were missed, and all that great stuff. So let's go ahead and start talking about the Oscar nominations of 2024. Alright, so I'm on the Oscars app right now, and we are starting with actor in a leading role, and the nominees are Bradley Cooper in Maestro, Colman Domingo in Rustin, Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction. Honestly, this list looks exactly right. It's kind of crazy that, like, Zac Efron didn't get nominated, because he was, like, one of the big people that was praised in the Iron Claw this past December. So, kind of surprising that he didn't get the nomination. Actor in a supporting role, Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction, Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon. By the way, Killers of the Flower Moon, after I'm done making this video, is the first Oscar film I'll be watching to get ready, so that way I can give my opinion on it, and you'll be seeing my ranking of actors in a supporting role this upcoming Friday. Anyway, Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling as Ken in Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. This looks exactly right. It's kind of crazy that in Killers of the Flower Moon we did not... Sure, we got Robert De Niro, which is known to be one of the great actors of our time, but you also got, like, Leonardo DiCaprio, which is, like, the most famous actor of all time. So, I'm about to watch Killers of the Flower Moon, but I'll have to see if Robert De Niro's performance is great. So, yeah. Actress in a leading role. Annette Bening in Nyad, Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Huller in Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan in Maestro, and Emma Stone in Poor Things. Honestly, out of all of these movies, this is the only one. Nyad, Killers of the Flower Moon, Anatomy of a Fall. Those are the 3 I haven't seen, but Maestro and Poor Things I have seen, and you got Carey Mulligan and Emma Stone. I'm actually going to go with Carey Mulligan because I think her performance is great, and it's a lot more relatable that I've seen in movies. Emma Stone, it's still unique, but I like Carey Mulligan's performance much better. Actress in a supporting role, you got Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks in The Color Purple, America Ferrera in Barbie, Jodie Foster in Nyad, and Da'Vine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers. It's kind of shocking that Emily Blunt got an Oscar nomination. Danielle Brooks, obviously there was a lot of great performances in The Color Purple, so I actually really enjoyed her performance. I believe, who does she play? Doesn't she play Nettie or whatever? I forgot the sisters that ran off. I forgot their name. America Ferrera was surprising because I didn't think... The only actors that I actually thought would get Oscar nominations were Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie. I never expected America Ferrera to get a nomination for Barbie. Nyad, I haven't seen it, but The Holdovers, Da'Vine Joy Randolph, I believe that's the girl that lost her son in the film. She was great, and her performance was underrated. So, if I'm being honest, of these films that I've seen, Oppenheimer, The Color Purple, Barbie, and The Holdovers, I'm actually going with Da'Vine Joy Randolph on this one. Next up, we have animated feature film. So this is kind of interesting because, you know, you're not technically... With the other categories, you're ranking based on performance. But with this one, you're just ranking up based off of what you think about the movie. You get The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. One thing, first off, I want to comment something on here. Ninja Turtles got snubbed. And for me, that was actually one of my favorite animated films of the year. Obviously, I can understand why Wish did not get on this list, but Ninja Turtles, I understand you may have 2 Spider-Verse animation style films in the same year, but you're competing. But there's still 2 great films, and I would actually say Ninja Turtles is better than Across the Spider-Verse. As for the one that I think is going to win, Obviously, I think Spider-Verse is going to win. So I've heard many great things about The Boy and the Heron, so that's one I'm going to have to watch. Elemental. For me, of all these ones, Elemental, Nimona, and Across the Spider-Verse, I think Elemental is my favorite, but I know it's not going to win because Pixar, most people just think it was good. And then Nimona getting a nomination was actually kind of interesting because I never expected in a million years. But it was a really good animated film. And then Robot Dreams, never heard of it, and it doesn't even have a USA release date, so kind of shocking, to be honest. Next up, cinematography. Let's go there. So we got El Conde, never even heard of that. Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. As for the ones I've seen, I'm actually going to go with Maestro on this one because once again, it's Bradley Cooper, and the way he directs things, and the way that the way it actually transitioned from black and white to color was amazing. So I'm not even sure if that's what cinematography is. I would choose Maestro on this one. And I think a close second is Oppenheimer. Costume design, we're going with Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. This is interesting because I am actually going with Barbie on this one. As I love all the costumes. I love the way the characters are designed. Napoleon is actually probably a close second. Oppenheimer is good, as the way everyone's dressed. Poor Things, pretty good. All of these are actually really good, but Barbie stands a lot with the costume design and a lot of other stuff. Directing. So we get Anatomy of a Fall with Justin Triet, Killers of the Flower Moon with Martin Scorsese, Oppenheimer with Christopher Nolan, Poor Things with Yorgos Lanthimos with Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer. So, obviously, I've only seen Oppenheimer and Poor Things, and I'm actually going to choose Oppenheimer for this one. Unless Killers of the Flower Moon just blows me away, it might be that, but I've only seen 2 of these, so I can't really comment on it that much. Documentary feature film. I actually haven't seen any of these, but the nominees are Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, 4 Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Marble. I haven't even seen any of these, so I'm gonna skip this category. Documentary short film. The ABCs of Book Banning, The Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, and Nine and White Powell. Once again, I haven't seen many short films, but once I see most of these, hopefully I see most of these, it will pop up, and maybe I could see it could start my 100 journey to seeing 100 short films this year. Film editing. We get Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. When it comes to film editing, I think it's I don't really know. When it comes to film editing, with Killers of the Flower Moon, I haven't seen it yet. Poor Things, I think is good. Oppenheimer. Sorry, something fell in the background. It scared me. I'd probably say Poor Things. Just the transitions of Emma Stone talking to people and then she's getting F'd by everybody. It's funny to me. But I'd probably say Oppenheimer. I'd probably give it to Oppenheimer. International feature film. Once again, none of these I've seen. Io Capitano, Italy. Perfect Days, Japan. Society of the Snow, Spain. The Teacher's Lounge, Germany. The Zone of Interest, United Kingdom. Once again, a lot of these films I have never seen before. But I have heard of Society of the Snow and The Zone of Interest, so definitely gotta watch those films. Then we got makeup and hairstyling. We get Golda, a film I never heard of. Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. As for me, I'm actually choosing Maestro on this one because the way that they did the old makeup for Bradley Cooper was phenomenal. Where you actually believed him as an old man. When I was watching the movie, the opening scene of the movie, I did not recognize him until I saw his actual face and heard his voice. That is mind-blowing to me, so I'm choosing Maestro on that one. But you know, something could change though. Music original score. We get American Fiction, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, John Williams, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Ludwig Göransson, Poor Things, Jenkin Fredericks. So here's what was kind of interesting. You get two famous composers, John Williams for Indiana Jones and Ludwig Göransson for Oppenheimer. Of course, John Williams is one of the best composers of our time. You know, he did E.T., most of Steven Spielberg's films. I'd probably pick him, but then Oppenheimer, I don't really remember his score, but then again, Ludwig Göransson is great for scores like the Black Panther films, The Mandalorian, so I'm gonna have to pick Indiana Jones though, because it was great, and his score for Indiana Jones movies are always great. Music original song. Here's where it gets interesting. The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot, I'm Just Ken from Barbie, It Never Went Away from American Symphony, Waza Weza, a song for my people from Killers of the Flower Moon, and What Was I Made For from Barbie. First thing I want to comment on, the fact that they're actually nominating something for Flamin' Hot. That is awesome to me. Because Flamin' Hot was one of my favorite films of last year. I believe it's like number 11 on my list. I love that film. The fact that it's getting a nomination for at least original song, I think it was great. And the song at the credits was great. As for me, I'm probably gonna have to go with I'm Just Ken, because it's the one that's been played more. It's the one that's been played the most. I hear it all the time, so easily I'm Just Ken is winning that one. Then we get production design. We get Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I'm actually choosing Barbie on this one. I don't care if I see Killers of the Flower Moon. Barbie is going to win that one because the set of that is fantastic. The way they designed all that was great. Animated short film. We get Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform, Pachyderm, and War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. Kind of interesting detail here, no Once Upon a Studio. Usually they throw in a Disney or Pixar short film in here. Nothing of that in this list. And you know, Once Upon a Studio, I think was a great short film. Sure, it had every Disney character to date, but that was kind of the joy of it. And I thought they handled that perfectly. But I guess the Academy doesn't take fan service, which is why they don't nominate the Marvel films. But yeah. Next up we have live action short film. The After Invincible, the short film, not the animated show, Night of Fortune, Red, White, and Blue, and The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. So I haven't heard of the first four, but The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, I remember seeing a trailer for, and it was on Netflix. And I am actually excited to watch that short because I've heard some pretty great things. Plus it's from Wes Anderson, and I'm excited to see that. And I think I'm going to be watching his films later this year for some movie. I forgot, maybe Gladiator 2. I believe he directed Gladiator 2. I don't remember though. Then we get sound. For sound, we have The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. Obviously, I haven't seen The Zone of Interest yet, but I have seen the first four. I easily think Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is winning this one. I mean, last year, we won to Top Gun Maverick. And when you're competing against a Tom Cruise movie, one that likes action movies, but still is big and massive, you gotta give the war to Mission Impossible. This is a Tom Cruise project. And who knows, maybe he'll do another one, not another Mission Impossible film, but another action, great movie experience this year. We'll see. Next up we have visual effects. So yeah, this one was actually interesting because actor in a leading role, and this one were actually the only categories that I actually seen all of the movies in. So for visual effects, we have The Creator, Godzilla Minus One, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon. Obviously, the creator, I'm glad it's up there, because, you know, it's an original sci-fi film, so I think it deserves that. Godzilla Minus One, I'm at least glad it's getting some recognition at the Oscars, but I think it looks really good. Guardians 3, I think it was terribly snubbed for makeup and hairstyling because they spent so much stuff with, you know, the prosthetics and everything. But yeah, that was big snubs, but I'm glad it's getting the recognition because the CGI, the visual effects in that film was actually good. Mission Impossible, kind of shocking it's on this list because I thought all the stuff that they did, like the train and the jumping off the cliff, I thought all that was real. But I guess part of it was what was visual effects and the rest was actually real stuff. Like they did actually build a train. And then Napoleon, kind of shocking because the visual effects in that film also look really good. But yeah, that's a really good list right there. Then we have writing, we have adapted screenplay, American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. So I believe that this is like movies that are based off of like certain aspects. As for one that is written well, that's based off of property, I'm probably going to go with American Fiction on this one. It's the best out of all of them, and I would say it's the best written out of all of them, so I'll say American Fiction. Then we have original screenplay, which is Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. I'm actually going to be real here. I think the winner of this one is Past Lives. I like that May December is in there, but Past Lives was an overall great film. It was the last one I saw in 2023 before the year ended, and I absolutely love that film. It became one of my favorite films. Not my top 10, but it's in my top 20 at least. And it was that was a great written film. That it didn't need to be big, loud, or exciting. It was able to be pretty quiet and pretty concise, where you're able to pay attention and understand everything. So I thought easily it's got to win for original screenplay. And finally, I saved the best for last. We're doing Best Picture. So the nominees for Best Picture are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Obviously, you know, these movies are no Guardians 3, or Blue Beetle, or Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Christmas Cabin Fever, or Missing, or The Sun, or Wonka, or Spider-Man Lotus. Let me stop. Or Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. But with the Best Picture nominations, it was kind of obvious, and I kept seeing all of everyone's predictions list, and it seems about correct of what the nominations were gonna be. Iron Claw was snubbed. Kind of sad that Priscilla didn't get any nominations. As for what movie I think is gonna win Best Picture, I don't really know. Because I love Barbie, I love Oppenheimer. Obviously, I think they're the big ones. Past Lives, I kind of have many doubts that it's not going to win. American Fiction got some nominations, but I don't think it's going to win Best Picture. It's really just down to Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, or Barbie. And a little bit of Maestro and The Holdovers. Anatomy of a Fall has some chances, but I don't know anything about it. Poor Things, I doubt, and then Zone of Interest, I don't even know. But really, it's down to Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, or Oppenheimer. As for me, I think it's really Oppenheimer. Granted, of all these films that I ranked, I think Barbie is the best film. But really, Oppenheimer was the one that's most talked about. And going back to, like, the animation category, my favorite of them is Elemental. But Elemental was not loved like that. So that's why I definitely think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is going to win. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Oscars of the Oscar nominations of 2024. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the about section somewhere in the YouTube channel. I don't know. And see you guys in March for the Oscars, and hopefully it's going to be an exciting journey for the next couple weeks because I'll be able to talk about a bunch of Oscar movies with you wonderful people. So see you guys in March, and I'll see you guys on Friday.